Oh yeah, that's a good idea. On the... Would you look at that? Did you know?
Just look at it.
Did you know you can do it by yourself?
What? Yeah, I was dumb and I left this plate on and I was like, oh, it's connected to the bell housing. I can just pull it off until I pulled it and I hit this. So I was like, yeah, all right.
Matt has been working really hard, and he pulled out his motor yesterday, right? Yesterday, and today's Wednesday after the event, and here we are. He's already got the trans off. Next is to get the motor on a stand, and then we can tear it apart and see what those rings or a head gasket or whatever it is look like.
Hey guys, Marco left his camera at the shop, so I'm going to record for you because Marco's not here. I think he's working overtime, paying for them shiny teeth. So Kyle's here. Kyle is mounting tires over next to this beautiful tire stack of my unused tires from the Pro-Am rounds, which is perfect because I love when I don't use tires because it's money saved. But I still need some more probably for next round. I don't know how many I'm going to go through, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. So transmission is off mine. We're doing this all in one take, by the way, because I don't like cutting. And make Marco edit. Make him, you know, use the mouse and clicker and stuff like that. Anyway, so transmission's off. Transmission is over here. You probably saw that. So we pulled this off. We are going to then strip the entire motor, but I'm going to try and be organized this time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clean off this entire table. And then I'm going to lay out probably like paper towels, something like this. This probably won't happen. I'm just going to say it just so it sounds good in a video. But I'm gonna put everything down, lay it all out on the table so it's all nice and organized. I can clean everything off, and then that way, when the motor goes back together, everything is here ready to go in. It's probably not gonna happen. I know it's not, but I wanna be organized. We have 2 months this time to get the car done, a month and a half. So I wanna like prep like the events in a month, and then that way the car's ready in a month. I can get it back together and then get it tuned and everything, and then have time to actually test. And by test I mean just like drive around, make sure motor's good. I honestly feel really comfortable in the car. I have no problem driving it since it's set up very well, and I do some sim racing on the side to kind of like keep my driving touch together. But I just want to make sure that the car is solid and we don't have issues like fuel getting in the oil or any other small issues like alternator wires coming off. That would suck to happen again. So these next round I'm really going to go for the win. This time I know I can do it because I qualified first. I don't have the skill to. It's just a matter of keeping the car together. Marco would be proud. So I cleaned off the entire table. Oh, don't even touch the table. I cleaned this off.
Is it a door?
It is a door.
Wow.
A table door. Tire table door. So anyway, I cleaned off the whole table. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut up this cardboard courtesy of BC. And I'm going to lay it down so I can lay down everything because I don't have any paper towels or clean towels per se. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to start tearing this apart and putting this up there. So I got cardboard down. I was able to pull off the intake manifold, and I found some interesting stuff here. So all of the, come on, focus. So all of the runners here all have oil on them. And what I noticed is interesting is, let's see, down there you can see it's almost reflecting. There's oil sitting on that valve right there. See if I can zoom in. So, damn it. Sorry, Marco. Oh, it's focused. But yeah, there's oil. There you go. You can see it. You can see oil sitting there on the valve. I was able to stick a screwdriver in there and pull it out and confirm it was oil, or like a black oily mix, much how like this is right here. So I don't know where that's coming from, what it is. So it's on all the intake runners here. And the thing is though, I don't have a catch can. Nothing with oil can reroute to here. The only thing that can, that actually gets sucked in there, is this brake reservoir. So unless some sort of oil is coming out of there, no oil should be getting in there. So kind of confused on what that could be. We were just talking about being an asshole on the camera, but please don't put that in, Marco. Alright, so we got the head stripped off the motor here. You can see this is the flux capacitor. There's 4 of them on this side, and then 4 flux capacitors on this side, and that just really gets the time warp going. Let's do time warp again. Alright, so that's all off. So I actually kind of nicely organized stuff. So I have intake manifold, left the fuel rails in it. Here are the valve covers with all of the, what are these things called?
Coil packs?
Coil packs, there we go. Could not think of that. Heads over here, so all the rockers and push rods, head studs, everything all organized in the order that it came out of. So now we're probably gonna look through here, see what's going on in here, see if it's valve seals over here, it's pistons rings over here. So if you look at here, you can see like there's a lot of oil in this cylinder, and you can see all the kind of the gunk on it. I don't know what that means at all, but it's like clean cylinder, dirty cylinder, clean cylinder, dirty cylinder.
Makes sense to me.
I don't know. I'm just trying to vlog, so Marco was conscious. Oh, I got something on my face.
I can't do the vlogging.
Why not?
I don't know how to do it. I don't know what to do.
What do you mean? You just talk. Like, this is our third friend. Don't roast him, though, because, like, we will roast you. But, I don't know. Roast a viewer right now. Roast Greg. Someone named Greg is watching. Roast Greg.
Greg probably has gray hair.
Greg has gray hair. I don't know how to do. I don't know what. So we loosen the spring.
You need a tool to do it.
We need a tool to do that. Marco's gonna have so much fun editing this because it's just one big, long clip, and we just keep talking. So it doesn't have to chop it up. Doesn't have to go to 90 different clips. He's probably gonna hate me. He's probably gonna be like, Matt, you ran up my memory card. But here we are. So apparently we just. So we're just gonna just. Boop. I don't know. We're not gonna do that today. But we didn't have any head gasket issues or cooling issues, so I think we can kind of rule that out. I'm mainly just procrastinating on pressing the record button to stop recording. That's pretty much why I'm just sitting here talking. It takes a lot more energy to talk than to just press the stop record button. But here we are. One thing I thought about, and one of you guys might actually say something, is rocker arm bolts. So rocker arm bolts can actually protrude into the intake runner. And now what happens with that is oil from your oil galley up here, I guess you would call it, can get in through the bolts and into the intake due to it pulling a vacuum. However, these not only do not go all the way through into the intake runner, but we also added thread sealant, which I think we did in a previous video. I don't know if Marco mentioned it or not. But we sealed all of these rocker arms, so we know we can rule that issue out. So either we have a valve seal issue or a piston ring issue, and I don't really think it's anything else. It can't be anything getting sucked into the intake. There's no oil or anything that can really get sucked in, because all the catch can stuff goes to a completely external catch can. So that's out of the system. The only thing that it could be that would be sucking something in is this is the vacuum hose for the brake booster, and unless there is like a crap ton of oil in the brake booster that is getting sucked in, I don't know where the oil is coming from. I don't know. Hello and welcome back to R&D Garage. We are here. It is Monday. This weekend we got a little bit of work done. Steven and a friend Darian came over and they helped move some stuff around the shop. We had a compressor there, and it was the original one that we had here. Anyway, back to what we're working on. I got the motor on the engine stand. So what I'm gonna do is I'll probably like clean this up some. I'll flip it and I'll start taking components off, and I'm gonna pull the oil pan and then pull the pistons and rods and everything. I have never done this before, so Marco's working. I think he has jury duty tomorrow, so he's working hard at work. So I'm gonna put in work in the shop, and I'm gonna tear apart the rest of this. I'm gonna organize this a little bit more. I bought some kitty litter right here and all this oil down here. This is all oil, power steering fluid, everything. I'm gonna pull all this out, and oh no, my dipstick, my second dipstick. I'm gonna pull all this oil out and everything by dumping kitty litter on it. It'll all clump up, that way I can just sweep it up. I'm giving Marco one clip for this again. I just like talking, if he hasn't realized this. Hi Marco. You don't know that I have your camera yet. Well, you probably do because you were looking at earlier footage. But you left your camera here, and I was like, well, I'm gonna vlog if you're not here, so. I don't normally vlog, So we're gonna figure it out. I just watch Friends and I talk to them. So that is the plan. Oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure everything was out of focus on that last thing. Who knows? I'm gonna clean it up and get back to work. Here's a little something interesting. So here is the area in here where the alternator wire came off. It's right down in there. You can't really see it. Anyway, well, when the alternator wire came off, it came off and it hit the dipstick. And it was actually stuck to the dipstick tube. It was like welded to it. And I have the dipstick pulled, and I noticed something interesting. So I noticed on this dipstick tube, there's actually a burn mark. Like it's burned on the stainless there. And I looked at it and I was like, that's weird, why is there only a burn mark? And that's because on this piece, that is right where the wire of the cable of the alternator there welded itself to the dipstick tube. I pulled the NOx sensors and the lifters, so I'm starting to pull the lifters out here. So got one side out. I'm trying to keep them all in order. Don't know if they need to stay in order and go back in the same location, but it can't hurt. I'm putting all these screws, like see all these screws randomly here? I'm putting them all back in the holes that they came from, mainly so I can keep track of them easier instead of having a big pile like this of just random stuff. That will end it here for me tonight. I got the motor decently apart, so I pulled off all that I wanted to pull off today. Get to bed earlier tonight. I was playing too much Call of Duty last night with some friends, so but we'll get this back together and we'll be back here shortly. All right, we're back at R&D garage. Mark was at jury duty, you know, making this country go around. And I'm over here pulling stuff off the motor. So all these cylinders are out. All this cross hatching is still in there, which means no real wear on the motor itself. I'm not sure if we should re-hone. It feels like polished. It could be some of the oil, but no scratches. On the crank surfaces look phenomenal. And if we go over here, we have all the pistons here. Pistons and rods. Bearing surfaces, bearing surfaces on these look pretty good. So it looks like I'm not going to be replacing any of that. But big news is I found out what is wrong with the motor and why it was smoking. So we were thinking, we were getting fuel in the oil. We were getting oil backed through and just dumping into the cylinders, and that's why we were getting kind of like weird compression numbers, and that's why we were getting a lot of smoke in the exhaust, which you saw. If you look on this, you have three sort of rings. Come on. So on a piston, on these, so on a piston, you have three sort of sets of rings. You have your top ring here, secondary ring, and then your oil ring. This is me just going off what I know. So these rings right here on this, for this spec piston, should be 1.5 millimeter, 1.5 millimeter, and then 3 millimeter for this. Now here's the issue. The rings that I ordered, even though they said they were for LQ motors, this piston, this ring here is actually a 1.25 millimeter. So you can see it sitting there walking around in that groove there. This one is pretty solid. So what I did here, just for demonstration, was I took one of these rings off another piston and put in this, and so this is the piston here. So this is what our pistons should actually have looked like, where that's nice and fit there, that's nice and fit there, and then that's nice and fit in there. Doing some research on it, getting the correct rings this time, which I did. We're gonna put it back together. Honestly, like, I'm not worried about this motor. Like, now that I know, it's like, before it was the unknown of what is wrong exactly. Like, was it rings that didn't seat? Was it something along those lines? Now I know, like, that's how it should be. And you know, it's a dumb mistake, but it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a dumb oil pump mistake and completely trashed the motor and trashed the whole thing. and I think it's good that we're gonna go back and we're gonna retorque everything, and everything's gonna be all buttoned up nicely, and it'll be another fresh motor and a fresh tune and everything for round 3. And I think it'll rip. Now that we won't be fouling plugs with oil and fuel coming through the rings, so we're gonna take these rings off. They're good rings, so we'll put them in a box or something, just in case they get any pistons that use this size ring. And we're gonna put the new rings in, and we're gonna put it all back together. I'm gonna wait for Marco. I was gonna put it back together now, just start throwing new rings on, throwing it back together, call it a day, get it back all together by Friday. But Marco's not here. I want him to come here. I want to get a second set of eyes. I want to get a second opinion, and it was a small mistake that we missed, and we're paying for it. But you know what? You live and you learn, and you know someone has to make this mistake, and unfortunately it was me. But here we are, having another great day.
Yeah, I'm recording. I want to see. Oh, oh! Matt's first time holding a cylinder.
I'm scared. I don't know if that was right. That was definitely. Is that 30 degrees?
That looks good, man. I don't know.
I don't know. How much more do I go?
A lot. It takes.
I don't want to take a lot of material.
No, you won't. Just trust me. You're good.
Just
You got to spend a good bit in each. Just take your time, and I heard it hit at the bottom. Don't let it hit the bottom.
No, I'm used to just being quick in and out.
No, you gotta
Not
be
here.
slow. Wait, go further in before you start.
No, dude, I'm good.
Okay, all right, good luck. Oh my God! I'm back. I don't know where I've been. Matt has just taken over the channel, the camera, the garage, the shop, everything. He's taken over the tools. I don't know, but I will say one thing. He's been doing this all by himself. He took apart his whole motor, took it out of the car, and he's gonna assemble it back by himself. So
It's done right.
yeah. Oh God. So it's gonna be full Matt work. So if something goes wrong, it's all Matt. But we all failed, and the wrong rings were purchased from the beginning, but none of us knew or saw it and realized that they were bad. We were all like, la la la, we're vlogging with Taylor Ray, and we were all like, oh brother, like we were just not in the right heads, and we did not realize the rings
the
were
most critical moment.
yeah, in the most important moment. We were all just having fun and yelling, and I don't know. Anyways, he's got the right rings. He's gonna put it on himself. He already honed the cylinders, and he's gonna put it all back together. We do have one bearing, rod bearing, that has a little bit of scoring from contamination in the oil. We don't know where the contamination came from. We don't know, it could be residual from something else, or something new because of all that fuel that was in the oil. Who knows? So, anyways, gonna get a new bearing for that, new head gasket, then goes back together. If we still have oil in there, then it's the heads. But we're like 99% sure it's the rings because they were wrong. So, yeah, I haven't been around. I don't even know what happened before this shot. So that'll be fun to edit. And then, I don't know, we'll see what happens. This weekend, Megan's driving the Z, so that'll be a fun video to watch too. So, continue working, please.
I do so much better when I'm alone and I just talk to the camera for hours and one 5-minute long clip of me just talking in circles like this.
wait, what?
That's the one bad bearing that we're gonna replace.